Billy is not my lover, never will be. He is my friend and nothing more. It needs to stop. I'm hoping by tomorrow they'll be healed up, especially because I have a date tomorrow. I think this might dampen my date. I just wish people would quit worrying about it, Walker. It was a mistake. I shouldn't have done it. I can't help it. What do they want me to say? I'm sorry. I mean, at this point, it's getting old. I'm not moving on. I'll never be able to move on from Delta. I never will. I'm lonely. I'm extremely lonely. And I'm mentally struggling. I don't have a new love. I just made a mistake with somebody. I messed up, Macy. I got in a situation. I didn't say no. I couldn't help it. I frigged up.
Okay, you guys, welcome back to my channel Behind the Screen. I think I just discovered a new rabbit hole for you guys. I know you like the rabbit hole type of videos, and I think I found a good one. Today, we're just going to cover some of the main points of this person, and there's a lot more if you guys want me to continue talking about this person, so let me know. I came across this guy a while back and I really heavily debated on whether or not I should talk about him. Some parts of this story tread into more of topics that are just more sensitive, and I knew if I was going to talk about him that I would have to be very careful with how I say things and sensitive topics, and I just need to be sensitive with how I cover this. This person actually talked about how they were done on TikTok recently in this past week. And so I thought, okay, maybe I won't talk about them. If they're actually done, then what's the point? But then just they had this dramatic exit, and within a couple days, they came back to continue their grift. So I figured that seems like just the green light that I needed to go about things, to cover him. So today we're stepping into a story that blurs the lines between grief and exploitation. A man named Matthew Allen, known to many on TikTok as the husband of Delta Ray, lost Delta just a few short months ago. But what followed wasn't quite mourning. It was a bit more unsettling, and there's something off about it all. His social media presence has morphed into a spectacle, one filled with cryptic posts, questionable choices, as well as what appears to be an overall grift. So is Matthew a man in mourning, or is he carefully crafting a persona to exploit sympathy with a financial ulterior motive? And as his following continues to grow, the real question becomes, are his followers witnessing a breakdown, or are we all being played? Let's just get into it. So Matthew Allen, known on TikTok as Tennessee Matthew Allen, was married to a woman named Delta Ray. The two often appeared in videos together, and from what I gathered, viewers genuinely loved Delta. She was seen as warm, kind-hearted, and full of positive energy. And as a couple on the platform, they had a really strong connection with their audience. People really liked them, Delta especially, but tragically, Delta did pass away this spring, and it was due to health-related complications. I don't want to go too much into speculating with her death because I want to be respectful to Delta, and this video is about Matthew, not Delta. But the two had been together for a really long time. They met whenever she worked at Wendy's back in 2009, and were basically together ever since most of those years they were married. I actually wasn't familiar with Delta or Matthew until this past month or so, and so a little shout out to the Reddit page I'm going to link below where they save all of the Matthew receipts, and I was able to go through there and just educate myself and figure out what people's main issues with Matthew is. But it does seem like right after she passed is when people started getting a strange feeling about him. First off, while Delta was still alive in the hospital, Matthew told people on TikTok that they did have insurance. But after she passed away, he went to TikTok asking for donations because apparently they didn't have insurance and he had to pay for everything out of pocket, which wasn't true. Spoiler alert, that's not true. He also began to talk about campaigning for Delta, saying it was justice for Delta Ray. It seemed like he was putting blame on others for her death, but he seems to have taken a step back on that. Again, I'm not here to speculate on her death, but from what I do read, he blames others for her passing. But something that he hasn't stepped back from is asking for money, or what people like to say dry begging on TikTok. He will go on live saying how broke he is, that he can't afford a Dr. Pepper, his drink of choice, and this theme has continued quite a bit for Matthew over the last few months.
I don't expect nothing, but my Cash App, if you go to my profile, you'll see under my bio, you'll see a link tree. And if you scroll down, you can find the CA, but I don't expect that. I'm just on here to talk to people and chat. What I wouldn't do just for a gift card to Kroger sometimes. I mean, my restaurant days are quickly diminishing away. Who's flooding my Cash App, sweetie? I never asked for anything on Cash App.
And like I said earlier, I wasn't familiar with Matthew, but what sort of pulled me in was what people are referring to as hickey gate.
Ugh. Brother, ugh. What's that?
And I know I don't always speak super clear, so in case if you didn't hear, hickey gate. So Matthew started appearing in lives, really showing off his neck and what was on his neck, which was 2 massive hickeys. And when people started asking him about them, he put band-aids on them, but proceeded to address the whole thing on a TikTok live.
Billy didn't put these on my neck. It was not Billy who did that. It's nobody's business who did that. My personal life, what I do in the bedroom, is nobody's business. But no, Billy had nothing to do with it. It's purely physical, Cassidy. It's mainly to, satisfy. It may be Dawn, but I needed it. I needed it. I was stressed, aggravated when it happened. So, and plus Dawn, Sunday morning, I'll pray the prayer of confession when we have that, and everything will be good. I failed. What else can I say? I failed. Every morning when I get up, I say my morning prayers, the Pledge of Allegiance. Disrespect for what, Dakota? I'm a human. I'm a man. I'm not perfect. If y'all think that you're following a saint here, you're badly mistaken. Love party, I'm not doxing the girl. Yes, I'll be seeing her this evening for dinner. No, we're not using each other. The one I got in West Virginia was at One Stop in Justice Edition, West Virginia. Oh, I know, Love Party. Thankfully, most of the rest of the marks are well below, so they're not visible. Well, it was a mistake. I shouldn't have had a hickey, honestly, but it happened. Oh, no, Paula. She's coming to the house to cook dinner. I'm not taking her on a date this time. I'm not bragging about it, Steven. I didn't even mention it until somebody else did. No, I'm not seeing anybody. It was a purely physical little thing that happened that we're now under control. Yeah, but we've agreed that it'll be celibate on our next visit there, Squeegee. I am moral, but I make mistakes. Yes, with a woman, I'm straight. Billy didn't dare do this. Robin, I didn't do anything wrong to Delta. Delta told me that I could move on, and I told her she could too if I died. And I haven't moved on anyways. No, Billy didn't give me these at all. Gift of Galaxy, and he'll tell you who. No, I'm sorry, I can't be bought that way. I would never dox a girl for that. It was physical, it wasn't emotional. Don't dox people for money. I have too much respect for my friends from that. I haven't really moved on. Like somebody said, I fulfilled my needs. My needs was fulfilled. I'm good now. Yes, it was a girl. It wasn't Billy. Y'all need to leave Billy alone, guys. Billy has nothing to do with this. He is another innocent bystander who's getting dragged into this. Exactly. Thought of running for Senate. I've thought about entering politics. But I'm just going to be a street preacher. And then I'm going to work my way up to having a church. And I haven't moved on. I don't care what page I'm on. Delta died from liver failure from years of mental and physical abuse by my relatives in our house. Truth seeker, even us preachers have our needs, but after Sunday I'm going to recommit myself. I'm going to have one last wild weekend this weekend. Then Sunday I'm going to recommit myself back to my faith and take holy orders and start my path towards the priesthood. Yes, Nicole, I've decided my calling is to be a priest and to serve God. In fact, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to and become a monk and dedicate my life to religious studies. Yes, they are celibate, but they don't take a vow of celibacy until right before they're ordained. So currently, I am not under the any vow of celibacy. I will document my whole journey. Only one of these one-night stands was at my house in the bedroom. The rest of it was either her place or a cheap motel. Oh, it wasn't the same girl, Pineapple. It was somebody different. No, it wasn't Billy. I plan to sell out to God Sunday. Have I ever been to Pound Town? Ain't that in Virginia? If so, yes, I've been there. No, I wouldn't call myself a stud. I'm not bragging about a one-night stand. I'm answering questions truthfully. If anything, I'm honestly ashamed of it. No, Billy didn't give the hickeys. Guys, now stop it. I'm not doxing who does any of this stuff. It's time to stop it now. But they all need to leave Billy alone. He has nothing to do with any of this. That's what causes trouble, is these people, they can't just come after me. They have to go under everybody else. They have to go after my friends, my relatives. They really need to just leave Biller out of this. There's nothing to do with him. I don't care what they do.
Now, I know everyone's journey with grief is going to look different. But honestly, the idea of my husband having multiple one-night stands, hooking up with people in cheap hotels, and then broadcasting the entire thing on TikTok only a matter of weeks after my passing is really gut-wrenching to even think about. I would want him to move on eventually. Keyword eventually. Not while my side of the bed is still warm, for goodness sake. And I really wouldn't want him going on social media broadcasting it all for my family's sake alone. But let's talk about another point from that video, which is yet another thing a lot of people have picked up on. He tends to lean very heavily on his faith as kind of a get out of jail free card, like saying, yeah, I probably shouldn't have hooked up with some random person, but no worries. I'll just confess on Sundays and we're all good. Which to each their own, I guess, but now he's apparently wanting to take the steps to become a monk. So his logic seems to be, let me live it up now, get all the chaos out of my system, and then I'll go take my vows, which I'm no expert, but I'm pretty sure that's not how the whole becoming a monk process works. It kind of feels like he's missing the entire point, but hey, what do I know? A lot of people believe that the way he's constantly bringing up his faith is less about genuine belief and more about playing the sympathy card to pull at heartstrings and, let's be honest, open wallets. On the surface, he presents himself as a soft-spoken Southern guy who loves God and is just having a rough time. And that's the kind of guy that many people, women, want to help, naturally. But once you start peeling the layers back with Matthew, things stop adding up. I mean, this is the same guy who says he can't afford basic groceries or even a few bucks for a sewing kit to fix his pants. Yet, somehow he's booking motels for his hookups, eating out all the time. He just bought his friend Biller a new motorbike. Yeah, at that point, people are bound to start asking questions, rightfully so. Speaking of Billers, a frequent presence on Matthew's TikTok is Billy, one of Matthew's friends, and their relationship has definitely sparked considerable speculation among everyone who has been following along with Matthew.
So folks, Billy now does hair, and he's getting ready to do my hair shave for me.
I'm a barber.
Billy's a barber. He's practicing his skills on me. I let Billy experiment on me all the time, so here we go.
Shout out to Remington.
Here we go.
Got the old record player playing.
Yeah.
Like a barbershop, old school.
Here we go.
Okay, here's the first cut. I don't know. Yeah, we ain't gonna go no guards. We're just gonna straight whack her.
Just straight whack me.
Let's go.
Here we go.
You gotta go against it. You can't go with it because you'll never cut the hair.
Yes. Billy's a barber. That can be your new name, Barber Billy.
So go against it.
Let's take a look at the work of Billy's hands. Awesome. Now I feel fresh and clean. I'm going to go shower all this
One
on.
last touch up. Alright.
Billy is a barber.
There we go.
We'll post his phone number below for anybody that wants to schedule an appointment.
Yep, and up today, get your bookie appointment today.
Sexy Joe Dirk's Barbershop.
Early on, some followers expressed concern that Billy might be a negative influence, but Matthew was pretty quick to reassure them that everything was fine. But despite that, there is, like I said, a lot of speculation about their friendship, which I'm not going to speculate on, but I will say that there is reason to believe that at the very least they do live together, but people can be roommates. Again, I'm not going to speculate, but Matthew definitely likes to, and Billers likes to play into the rumors.
If y'all send us, listen, if you send $2,000, I'll make
Sorry if I break
right
something.
now.
My CA's in the bio.
$2,000 and I will full tongue it.
Where's the cat? Solomon don't travel with me.
Yeah, cats are kind of difficult.
Yeah, I ain't gonna listen to meow, meow the whole way here.
10K.
When I take him,
Don't sell yourself short.
10K. Hey, somebody willing to send that. It ain't much you won't be able to talk us into.
Are we related?
Can somebody,
Yes, actually we are.
Yeah, thank you. I'm gonna show you
But hey,
this I missed.
I'm from West Virginia, he's from Arkansas, so they don't stop nothing.
That's right.
They don't stop. They don't stop nothing.
Put the camera. Yeah, show 'em. Get your head out. There.
Oh my gosh!
And like I mentioned, he just bought Billers a motorbike. Again, when he's talking about how he can't afford the basics, he doesn't qualify for any type of assistance because he's a single man. I don't think that's how it works, but that's what he says. Somehow, though, he was able to buy Gold Billers a new set of wheels. Doesn't really make a lot of sense. At one point, Matthew was working at Walmart. I'm not 100% sure if he still is. Last I checked, he was, but I don't really know. But he's definitely making money on TikTok. Between going live, constantly plugging his Cash App, he's definitely pulling in the income, but that's not where it stops. People have begun to notice that Delta's TikTok account is still active. Yes, even after her passing. Matthew is apparently still posting on it and benefiting from the creator fund, which has rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, and it's easy to see why. There's really no real reason to keep posting on her account, especially whenever it wasn't a couple's account. Matthew has his own account. But like I said earlier, Delta was really beloved online. And it does seem, if we're speculating that is, that Matthew knows there is still money to be made from that love that Delta garnered from her audience. And in my opinion, I don't know, the whole thing, posting on her account, doesn't to me seem like honoring her memory. It feels more like cashing in on it. And while he is still using his late wife's TikTok to keep the money flowing in, posting old memories, tugging on the heartstrings, he's over on his own account talking about how he's back on the dating scene, not just casual hookups anymore. He's actually going on real dates, seeming to look for a real relationship.
Hey, you lovely people. So I am here at the movie theater getting ready to go on my real first official date in 15 years. And yeah, it's just a casual date to meet a companion. Nothing like anybody's thinking. I'll be meeting the girl shortly. And it is hot out here, hotter than spit. But I am having a good day though, and I'm feeling good. I ain't sure what we're gonna see yet. I ain't been to the movies since we went and seen Minecraft, but anybody have any good movies that they've seen lately or anything? Yeah, I'm kind of nervous. It's hard to make an impression on new people, especially after all this time. And no, I'm not entering into any kind of relationship or anything. Just casually dating and meeting people and talking to people and making friends, because that's what makes the world go around. Good friends, love, happiness, joy, and the love of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. Wish me luck, folks. Wish me luck. Because something tells me I'm probably going to need it.
Like I said, I knew everybody grieves differently, and I already know people are going to be mad at me for even talking about this. But let's not forget, Delta just passed away. Personally, it feels really disrespectful to be posting tributes about her on her own page, while at the same time hyping yourself up on your personal page for all of the new romantic adventures you're going on. Call me crazy, but it just feels tone deaf at best, and at worst, it feels like something a grifter would do. But Matthew's newest way to gain attention is by saying he is done with TikTok for good.
Hello everybody. So I'm here to make probably a really bittersweet announcement. Something that I really have no choice at this point, but this will be my final TikTok video probably for a long, long time if I ever do come back. This is pretty much me saying goodbye. Cannot put up with it any longer. I mean, I don't care what people say about me. I don't care about personal attacks about me, but it's gone far and beyond at this point. Nobody could ever respect my wishes to just leave my friends and family out of it. They couldn't leave my relatives out of it. When you get to the point that you're causing issues with some of my closest friends, my relatives, messaging my mother, causing issues with underage relatives, even though me and Delta begged you all, and tried to respect our wishes that we don't answer questions about children. Nobody could stop. They still continued beating on. Nobody could respect that. So the only thing I can do, there's an old saying that come to mind tonight: if you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen. Well, I'm getting out of the kitchen. I just can't put up with it mentally anymore. It's causing me too much mental anguish, causing me too much destruction, and my family and my closest friendships mean more to me than any social media ever will. Yes, to those who've asked many times, yes, I do get money from the Creator Fund. Do I make $14,000 a month? No, that was a BS rumor, but I'm not getting into it. It was never more than a little bit of extra pocket change so I could survive, because my salary at work pretty much takes all my rent, because we all know how expensive it is to live in this city these days. But I just leave it in God's hands at this point. I'm going to look for a second job to supplement my income in the evenings. If anybody in the Nashville area knows of a second job that's hiring, would be willing to work with me on some hours, you are free to DM me. I will check my DMs, and maybe we can talk about that. I'd appreciate any help there with somebody to help me get a second position. I do want to say to my loyal ones, thank you for the love and support, especially after the death of my beloved Delta. Thank you for the ones who always took up for me. I know my real ones on here. I made some wonderful, wonderful friends on here, and I do love you all. I do love it, and I hate this for the people that I love to keep in touch with, because after this video's broadcast, I'm going to go live this evening one final time with my people, and then that's going to be silence for me for a long time. And if I ever do come back, it'll be a Sunday message or a holy day messages, and that's it. There'll be no more videos broadcast for entertainment of me or any of my family members or anybody ever again, because too much has happened, too many bad things have been said, and way too many lies and rumors about me have been spread. And some of them are just so beyond wild that, well, I guess, some of the rumors made me seem less boring than I actually am. Maybe count the blessings right, but I do ask my friends to say a prayer for me, especially those that are Christians or religion, to say a prayer for me going forward, that I can survive my grief and stress, and that I'll find a second job, and that I'll make it somehow, some way. I will. Don't know what else to really say. There's not really a lot more to say. I think I've said it all at this point. I'll just be talking in circles and going in circles and repeating the same thing again, and so I'm going to leave it at that. Everybody, I love you all. I truly love my real ones. I'm sorry that the haters and the people who couldn't keep their nose in their own business caused this for you all. So direct your anger there. It wasn't me. I just made a decision today while I was praying about 2 hours ago. I was praying with my pastor on the phone, and we decided that this is probably the only reasonable conclusion that I can really do. The only thing reasonably that I can do to fix this, to fix the problems, to get people out of my life. And maybe once TikTok is gone, I might get my mental health back and I'll be back to myself once again. I love you all from the very depths of my heart.
But people like Matthew, it's like Patrick from the Dad-Daughter Dream Team. They can't stay away from the spotlight. They crave the attention too much. The grift is too real for them. So what does Matthew do?
2 days later.
Of course, he updates us from the hospital with a health scare.
Hey folks, yeah, I know. I'm back on here for a minute, and I have nowhere else to really ask for advice. Anybody that wants to go on with, I thought she was leaving, I'm just going to ignore it because this is serious. I'm really not feeling good. I've had it very rough the last 2 days. A horrible cramp coming from right in here, all the way to my back. I have not kept any food down. I've been up pretty much all night the night before last, since extremely early this morning, vomiting. The cramp makes me feel like I gotta go to the restroom, and I can't. I feel weak and dizzy, and I don't know what a diagnosis is. I thought maybe it was too much Dr. Pepper, so I started drinking water or lemonade to try to flush it out, and it's not working. So I don't know if I should go to the ER or not, or if anybody could give me some home medical advice, because I don't have insurance, and even if I go to the ER, whatever treatment they give me, I can't pay for it at the pharmacy. So I need some advice. What do I do, people? What do I do? What's wrong with me? Give me some advice. I would really appreciate it. Or do I just go to bed and with prayer and fasting? Just help me out, somebody, please.
And after that, he was back for good, posting his typical content, going out to eat, buying stuff for billers, and of course playing the whole woe is me card. There's honestly a lot more I could say about Matthew. I just wanted to sort of highlight the key points with him. Like I mentioned earlier, I really debated for weeks on whether or not I should even cover him in the first place, because in the beginning, all I really saw, or thought I saw, was a sad, lonely man grieving the loss of his wife. And yes, it is heartbreaking that he lost Delta. And yes, everyone does grieve differently. But what's not okay is using that grief as a shield while you dry bag, lie, and manipulate your audience. Which, let's be real, is exactly what Matthew is doing. It all started when Delta was still in the hospital and he claimed that they didn't have insurance. It turned out she had insurance and he didn't have insurance, which means he wasn't paying the entire thing out of pocket. He likely wasn't paying anything at all from what I was reading. So it wasn't true, or at least it wasn't true to the degree that he was portraying on his TikTok. And things have just continued to spiral from there, only seeming to get worse, in my opinion. I mean, he'll go on and on and on about how broke he is. He'll go on live saying, oh, money won't bring my sweet Delta Ray back, but if you feel inclined, my Cash App is in my bio, but don't feel like you need to. I can't afford to eat today, but don't feel like you need to. Yeah, that's not grief, that's manipulation, especially whenever he's perfectly capable of working. I mean, with the amount of time that he is spending on live hinting for handouts, he could be working 2 jobs, and that would really change his financial situation. But let's be honest, that's a conversation that Matthew definitely does not want to have. But what do you guys think? Is he really just a lost, grieving man still trying to find his footing after an unimaginable loss? Or is he just yet another TikTok grifter, using grief as a convenient cover-up to manipulate and cash in? As I said, there's more to Matthew, so if you guys want more, let me know. Thank you again so much for being here and for all of the support. I will see you guys in my next video.